we create a stop. This is our own stop. We didn't use the zipper stop. So when you look at how we start from here, the zipper comes here to end, but we created the end here. It's like 2 inches away above the original end of the zipper. You understand why we do it this way later. Very, very important. If you came all the way to the end, there's this bump here that gets in the way. But once you push it up, you now close the seam and you create a stop there by going back and forth. Okay, now we're getting ready to install the invisible zipper. The invisible zipper always has the pole or the pulley on the right side. Every zipper, this is a regular zipper. This is it on the right side, but the teeth is also on the right side for this regular zipper. What the invisible zipper, it doesn't have the teeth showing here. It's rather in the back. The teeth is in the back. So that's the difference. This is where, at the end of the day, if we finished installing this, all we will have is the pole. The pole will be the only thing showing, and you have garments like that. Okay, now we open it and we label this. This is the right side of the garment and the wrong side of the garment. The thing about the invisible zipper is that the whole zipper sits or lives in the seam allowance. This is the seam allowance. The seam allowance lives on the back of the garment. You don't see the seam allowance here. It's here. However, we make sure that the whole zipper is hidden here so that we don't sew it for you to see any lines or anything in the front. So this is how we do it. We deal with only the zipper seam, the garment seam allowance. Now, this part of the zipper is called the zipper tape. It's also the zipper's seam allowance. How you install is this. You start from the top. Now, even though this is the seam allowance that lives in the back of the garment, it also has a right side and a wrong side. This is the wrong side of the seam allowance, and this is the right side of the seam allowance. Now, we grab the right side of the zipper tape and attach it right side to right side, right? And we pin. The pinning is also strategic. You don't pin, this is what I see people do. As soon as they start, they pin like this. When you see your pin here, you're wrong. You're supposed to pick up the seam allowance, put your zipper tape on there, and pin. But how you pin also is such that the teeth, because we opened it, the teeth sits on this crease. The crease is extremely important. The crease is part of the seam allowance. The seam that we created, we just continued and we ironed that seam out. So the teeth sits on the crease and then we pin. We are starting from the very top. Okay, so we hold it like this. Make sure the teeth is sitting on the crease, right? And the raw edge of the zipper is aligning to the raw edge of here, of the fabric. So we just keep pinning. Thank you. We just keep pinning all the way. We make sure we're lifting the the seam allowance as we pin. We pin all the way to the end. Even though we have a stop somewhere here, we don't worry about that. Just pin all the way. And then we continue the pinning here. And we grab the other side. Again, we're using the same rule. Right side of the zipper sits on the right side of the seam allowance, not on the garment, seam allowance of the garment. So we position it in such a way that you have the teeth is sitting on your crease. Very important. So we shift until it's sitting on there. Okay. Now the teeth is such that it is coiled. Sometimes we call this zipper coiled zipper, but you continue pinning. Okay, and make sure it is sitting on the crease. Very important. Now you cannot sew invisible zipper with pins in it, so we have to figure out a way to get rid of the pins. So I do what I call, or what we call, machine basting. We bring it here and we do a quick straight stitch. It's going to be hidden anyway, so you don't have to sweat over the straightness of it or anything. We're just, okay. Now I need it to be a little closer, so I'm going to use the needle positioning so that I'm not completely off. There we go. So all I'm doing is getting rid of the pins so that this stitching will keep my zipper tape down. And I take out the pins. Now some people do it by hand, just do hand basting, or you can do machine basting. Now over here the slider is moving me out of the way, but I'll try until I get to the end and all my pins are out, so I'm good. Oops. Okay. All right. And then so this is good. It's staying put. We do the same thing to this other side. We need the pins to be out. So come here. Because the pins are in a position that I can pull them easily, I sew from the bottom up. Okay. Remember, I'm opening and sewing. I'm not sewing folded under. It's very important. Okay. Oops. Again, the teeth has to be on the crease. You don't want it shifting. And now we have the last pin. Take it out. And we're good to go. Now, this is not the final stitching. If you close your zipper, you will see this does not make it invisible. This is not the end. This is just to take away the pins and also to allow you to now do the real stitching, which is here. This is where the real stitching is done. Here. It's under the teeth. And that's where you can use a regular zipper foot to do that. How do you get rid of this? There's a knob in the back. You just, okay, not this machine. This one I think I can just push. Pull it out. It comes out. And then I just grab this. And there are two slots for the zipper. Right side of the zipper, you use this. Left side of the zipper, you use that. So we bring this in and install. That's it. Now we're going to sew the right side of the zipper. How do we know which side is right? You hold the garment. This is the right side, this is the wrong side. So we read it from the right side point of view. This is the right, this is the left. So if this is on the right, then that's the part I'm going to work on. And I grab this and come here. Now, I have to make sure my needle is in the middle for this to work. And for the needle, this particular machine, for it to be in the middle is 3.5 for here. Some other machines, like the gray ones, they actually have needle position. So you move it to the middle. This is the stitch length. We are good. We cannot be on zigzag. We have to be on straight stitch. So we're good. Now, when you position your zipper foot, the most important thing is to look at for this tab here. This tab is supposed to glide through this crease or coil, this space in here. The beauty of it is that the needle is right behind it, like that. Is it hitting it? Let me move it again a little bit. Okay. And so as it stitches, wherever the, no, I wanted to make sure. Oh, okay. When it's on 0, then it's in the middle. Perfect. Okay. Let me go back and correct that. We need the needle to be exactly behind the tab. And so as we go, the tab is leading the way and the needle is doing its job. It will never hit the foot from my experience. As long as you let it follow exactly where the foot is, or the foot tab is. You can see the crease. Now, some people like to iron this thing down so they can get to that. I don't recommend that because, God forbid, your iron gets crazy and it's hot, it will melt this thing for you. Once it melts, it's damaged. So you want to just help it. You can use a pin, you can use a tailor's owl, or you can use anything that can help you open the zipper teeth. And see what we are doing? We are actually going past the stop. So, come on, don't do that. Okay, so this guy here will get in the way. It will stop us somewhere along the line, but we're not worried because we have our stop there. And then we come in as far as it will let us, and then we stop. We go back, and that's it. We reinforce it, and we're good. So now we pull and cut. Then the other side, what do we do? What do you think we do as far as the foot goes? Wonderful. Wonderful. This is the presser foot. Yeah, you got it. We change the presser foot from the right to the left. So left side. So now we come here. Come on. This is plastic, so it's a little. Okay, there we go. And once you change it, as long as the needle is in the middle position, it will not hit it. It just does what it's supposed to do. Good. Now we come to it's on the left, so we're dealing with the left side of the zipper. So we come here, we position the tab again. There's a particular foot called the invisible zipper foot. It's designed differently, but it doesn't come with every machine. You'll have to buy it. It's an accessory you have to buy. I've seen it, I think at the time that I looked it up, it was like $18, but it could be cheaper online. But this one does the same thing. It's amazing. As long as you let the tab sit inside the crease, it will never hit your teeth. And the good thing is that this first stitching, which you can do by hand, or I've seen someone do it with glue. They just glued the zipper on and it was theirs. They just need the tape.
Some people use tape, I think.
Yeah, like double-sided tape. It's also good. The only thing is the needle sometimes gets stuck when you're using glue. So you want to use hand basting to do it quickly, or machine basting like we did. And then you just keep going. And you want to make sure that it's lifting and getting inside the crease really well. Of course, it won't let you once you get here. And so, but we're not bothered. Why? Because we know that we created our own stop earlier on. Okay, this is where it gets nerve-wracking. It is called moment of truth. Okay, so now we're going to see if it will behave. So I'm pulling it from the back and I'm turning it. Now it's out and we're good to go. It's a process, comes with practice. I have the video for all of you, but this is it. How cool is that? You practice, maybe. I always say by the 10th one, you should be a pro.